So yes, so we'll start with basic charting techniques that are available in Excel. Okay, so currently you see a column chart. Now let me show you how to insert it from the beginning. So there are various charts available to us in Excel. Why do we use it? Just to represent our data in a pictorial form, in a graphical form, because pictures speak 1,000 words. Yes, so to analyze your data, to look at it in a graphical way or a pictorial way is way better than looking at it the way you are currently seeing this. So I can go here, go to Insert tab. So you get to see charts as a separate group here. So you have lot of charts available. All basic and advanced charts are included in Office 365. Now, before you even insert a chart on a given data, you need to select the data. After you do that, so you have an option here, recommended charts. So this option is available since 2010 version of Excel, not prior to that. Okay, since 2010 version you have got this recommended charts. So Excel will let you know which are the best ways that you can choose to represent the data that you have currently. See, the same data it will show you in how many different ways you can represent. Let me click on it. See, column chart, bar chart, pie chart, funnel, and also Pareto chart. So there are so many here. Okay, so these funnel and Pareto are quite advanced charts. So we are currently discussing the basic ones. So I'll cover that first. Okay, so now just say cancel. I would like to insert a column chart. So what makes you choose that? It all depends on what you want to interpret using the data, what message that you want to put out using this data. Depending on the chart you choose, the meaning that you give to that data is also going to change. How you are trying to analyze is also going to change here. Now let me insert a column chart. Now let's go here, I'll choose. So in the same drop down, you get to see bar as well as column over here. So I'll choose clustered column chart. See, this chart is used to compare the series values based on some categories. Now, what are these series and categories? Now, let me tell you that. All these values which come in x-axis, okay? So they can be considered as categories. So rather than telling by position, I would say which can be used as uh, a guide, a legend, or what we can say as x-axis value. You can use it as a label against which you have some values to be plotted. Always these numeric values are the ones which will decide the length of the column you have on this chart for a column chart. So now the values are plotted on y-axis and these values are given on x-axis. So all these are known as categories and all your columns with numbers are known as series. Okay, they are known as series. So now we have only one series here, one column with numerical data. That is the reason you see all columns in the same color. If you have multiple columns with numbers, you would see different columns representing each column value over here. Now let us discuss why we should use this column chart. See, whenever you have column values, the series values, that needs to be compared against some categories over here. Then we go to choose either bar or a column chart. Again, I'll explain you why we should go for a bar chart. See, it's nothing but a bar chart is in the orientation of this column chart is changed. That's it. Otherwise, it is all the same. Okay. So the bars will be horizontal, whereas the column chart will look vertical. It is all the same, but there is a special purpose why we need to use the bar chart. I'll tell you while I explain that. Now currently let's discuss what are the chart elements. So now you know why we have to go for the column chart. So whenever you're using column chart, keep in your mind it is for comparison purpose. You are comparing the series values against the category values here. Now, so this is the chart that you're seeing. Within this chart, there are a lot of elements. Now let me tell you what are these, because you might have to edit them later. In case you want to change the view of the chart, you should know what are the elements within your chart. So now you have a smaller rectangle inside this chart. See, this is known as plot area, where exactly your columns or your chart is plotted based on the values that we have taken from the data. So this is your plot area. Outside this, the exterior triangle that you see is known as chart area. That is chart area. Now these are your y-axis. This is known as primary vertical axis in Excel, and this is primary horizontal axis. And you see sales here. This is the place where you see the chart title. Now currently it has taken this series name. You could also change the chart title to anything that you want. You just have to select it here and change it. Just say sales of company, something like this. I would like to change it. I can do this. So is that all? No, you have much more. Now let me select the chart. You have this plus mark over here. When you click on it, you get to see few more chart elements. See, this is a shortcut way to reach that. You also have something known as design tab. Click on it. You will be able to see in the left hand side corner of the ribbon, there is an option of add chart element. You will get those options here as well. Whereas for this particular chart, you have right here in the plus mark. This is one way to reach it, or you could also go to design tab and get this from here. All are same. Now here, I told you there are two axes, primary horizontal, primary vertical. Either you can enable them or disable them. Again, it's your wish. There are provisions to provide labels to these axes as well. See, I could say companies over here. Currently, you're seeing it as axis title on the chart. You can just go and change it there. Let me select this. See, you see axis title here. You could provide a title if you require. So I'll say these are company. I'll just say companies. And for this, even for this axis, I would like to see a label. You need to keep the chart selected, go to design tab, take add chart element. You need to go here, axis titles, choose this primary vertical. Again, you get an axis title over here. And for this, you can change it. I'll say sales value. So whatever title you provide, it will be there just beside that axis, and you could also change its position. If you can see, you can keep it like this. Wherever you want to position it, you could do that. Fine. So you have few more like this. So we saw axis, their titles, chart title I showed you. You could also hide the chart title. If you don't want, you can remove it altogether. So where exactly you want to position it, above the chart or center overlay will overlap your plot area and the area where this chart title is appearing. So this is deciding the position where exactly your chart title has to be displayed. So there is something more interesting like data labels. See, this will let me show you the series value on which we have plotted these columns. What is the exact value on which these columns are plotted? I would like to know that. So I will go for this data labels. So you can choose this. So you have an option to edit all these as well. So I want to change the font, color. You can do all these things with these values, even for a primary and vertical and horizontal axis. Also, you can change the font look and feel of it. You can change the titles. So this one also. So you can apply colors to it. So let me show you one thing. So then see, I can apply color like this. I'll be able to increase the font size, change the font type also. So if I would like to give this, let's say I'll choose Arial black. See, likewise I'll be able to change the axis colors as well. If I wish to, I can do this. And axis titles, I would like to give them, suppose in blue color, or let's say red color. You have options to just go change all these things within your chart. These are your chart elements. Let's say I'll choose this one, which is matching with the columns that we have plotted. So there are few more chart elements like this. Let me go here. Just see data table. Suppose you don't want to show the labels on the series that we have. You would like to show it like this. You see a table below this, but you need to have enough amount of space to display it. Then it will be displayed right below the columns. So it will display the same values in the form of a table just below that. And no legend keys with legend keys. See all these things. So if you don't require it, you can remove it as well. So error bars, they appear in only specific charts which uses some kind of data wherein the analysis is made on the standard deviation with the original data, and they calculate the errors, and those errors are plotted on your chart. These are not included in simple charts like this, so nothing to worry about it. Now let me take to grid lines. So you see some lines here. These are known as grid lines. These things that you see here, they are known as major horizontal grid lines. So in the same way, you also have major vertical grid line, minor horizontal grid line, and also minor vertical grid lines. See, these grid lines will help us get to know, where exactly the point of this series is reaching. So in case I don't have these data series, so the data labels, if they are not available, so these grid lines will help me decide where exactly it is. So it's going to help me say this is reaching almost 20,000. It's very near to 20,000. I can say that. So for these kind of analysis, you can keep these grid lines. Or if you don't wish to keep them, you can also remove it altogether. It's all left to you how you want to customize your chart. And not only these things, you have some quick options for changing the appearance of your chart altogether. Now let me show you that. You have something known as quick layout. Same in the design tab. If you go here, see what layout you choose, in the same layout, see these charts will appear. In whichever layout you choose, the chart will appear in that layout. It also gives you the description. See, this displays it as a histogram. So you can choose from various layouts that are available to us. So based on your requirement, you can go with it. And you also have options to change the color theme. Now you would like to change the colors that are used in the chart, let's say. You can change the color palette here. Based on that, even this will change. Now let me show you the chart styles. You want to show in different styles, You don't have to waste your time. You can choose from the styles that are available here. Just choose them. You can also hover on it to see the live preview of it. See, if you apply it, this is how it looks. So you can choose which type of chart you want to display. So you have a lot of options here. So you can choose from any one of these that you like and you can apply it. Now I like this one, so I'll just apply this. And you also have options to switch the rows and columns. See, currently this is plotted on your y-axis and this is your x-axis. You can switch them over here. You can choose a separate data, or if you wish to insert a different chart on the same data, you can go choose change chart type. You have a lot of options here, and that will help you make changes to your chart. So to where all you can make changes, to know that you need to know what are the elements of the chart. That's the reason I just explained all the different types of elements that are available to us. Okay, so let me take you to another chart, column stack chart. When you click on it, see, let me insert this chart again. You need to first select the data, just go to insert, you choose column stack chart. So you saw here we have inserted a column stack chart. We chose that, we have inserted. Now let's validate, is it the right way to plot it? You see here what happens. We are not getting the series name here. Series name is 2010, 11 and 12. So it has to appear here. Whereas it displays as series 1, 2, 3. Because you can see here the company is also plotted. Company is also plotted as one of the categories, which is wrong. See, these are headings. These need not be considered as one of the series that needs to be plotted. This happens only when you have numbers in your headings or numbers in the left hand side column. They'll also be considered as your one of your data items. So to avoid that, you should make sure you delete the corner cell even before you plot the chart. Okay, now let us reinsert the chart. I'll delete this. I'll delete the corner cell. I'll select the area of data here. Just go to insert. I'll choose stacked column. Okay. So now you see you don't get to see that company over here. Now I can go back to that cell and type it again. Now I don't have any problem with it. Okay. It is not going to be considered as one of the categories here. So you should make sure when you have numbers in the headings or in the left hand side column, you should delete the corner cell before inserting a chart on it. Okay, to see that the chart is added in a valid form. So why we chose this stacked column? Now let me also show you by inserting only column chart, the clustered column chart. So when I show you comparing with these two, you will understand. See the same chart. See, on the same data, I have inserted a clustered column and this is a stacked column. Now, when you look at this clustered column, see, currently the data that we have taken is to compare each company's sales value together for 3 years. For 3 years, how was their sales? To compare that, we have inserted these two charts here. Now, which one suits better? So you can see here. Now each year's values are being displayed in the separate column over here for every company. So I need to go choose a different color. That is, if I choose this series, so it will let me compare only 2010 value. See, it's quite difficult to understand it. We are trying to compare all 3 years of values put together for one company. So the best way to represent is stack it. What I have done, I have put all these columns one upon the other. That is known as stacking. Okay. When you stack it, you look at it, it will be much more easier for us to analyze the data. So now I can say among all these companies, Zydus is doing very well. It has emerged the most competent one. So the competitor for Zydus would be Bayer. But again, if you compare with Zydus, Bayer is not consistent in its sales. 2010 it was really good. It was at its peak. Again 2011 it dropped drastically. Again 2011 they started off. But Zydus, you can see it is quite consistent in its sales. It's going in the same pace. And if these two are in that way, UCB is also very close to beating Zydus and also LifeScan, I can say. So this comes the fourth. So you can do such analysis once you have the proper representation of the data. So choosing the charts will play a key role in this. Okay, so if we had chosen a column chart rather than a stacked column, so there would be very less analysis, or it would be difficult for us to analyze the data this way. Currently, the way we are doing, it would not be possible. Okay, so that's when you need to choose column stack. When you have more than two columns to compare, okay, the series value, then you go for column stack. But again, now I would like to see the percentage contribution of these years of sales, let's say. Now let me choose this one, the same example. This is the same data. I'll again plot the chart. So this time let me plot 100% stacked column. Now when I say 100% stacked column, you don't see sales figures here. You see percentage instead of figures over here. See, this will help me percentage contribution of each year sales to this particular company. Now, why all columns are in the same height? Because see, 2011 sales 10 and 12 put together will be 100% for this company. This is the 100% sales for Bayer when you add all these three together. Among these three, what is the contribution of 2010 sales? So you can see here it is above 40%. So somewhere near 45% or 46%. Whereas 2011 contributes only 5% of it, 5 to 7. How? See, 45 to 50, so not even, yeah, 55, let's say. You subtract those two, you will somewhere get around 8 to 9%, not more than that. So again, 2011 will cover the rest of it. So likewise, what amount of contribution has each year sales for that entire 3 year sales is can be analyzed if you go for 100% stacked column. Okay, so this is also known as a split pie chart, because for each series you can see the pie, this is going to represent in somewhere in the form of a pie only. So this entire column is 100%, in that you have the divisions. But the problem is I can't show the data label in percentage over here. See, I'll right click, I would like to show data labels. So you can see here, let me go here, plus mark, I'll say add data labels. It is showing in numbers only. I have no option in column chart to change it to percentage. So let me take you to format data labels here. See, so I can format it, but I have no option to show it in percentage. That's the problem. Okay, but otherwise, only to look at it in the form of a representation, it will definitely signify this split pie. It's going to tell for each company what is the sales contribution provided by each year sales. So that's when you can use it. See, all these three, whatever you saw now, column, stack column, 100% stack column. Same thing applies to bar chart also. Only thing is it will show you the same chart in a horizontal manner. Then what's the purpose of it? Now let me show you that. So let me delete this chart. Now currently we have this data. I'll insert a column chart on this. Now let me show you. I'll go here, I'll insert a clustered column chart. You look at it, see if I have only, if it is too big, I'm able to see it. Otherwise you can see here, these labels are longer than the columns that we have. See, the labels, placement of labels is going to be difficult if I choose a column chart for this. There is nothing wrong to choose column chart, but I'm not able to display these labels in a proper way. If you have very long labels and you can't, I mean, you don't have any option to shorten it, you need to show it, let's say, then you can go for bar chart. The reason, it will align all these labels in a proper way along with the plotting. So I'll choose the chart, I'll go to design tab, I'll choose change chart type, I'll choose bar this time, bar chart, and say okay. So now you can look at it, it neatly displays all the long labels that you have along with the plot. So even for bar chart, you have stack bar, 100% stack. Okay, you can try it on your own, because I have already explained that in the column thing. So I don't want to repeat it again. You can try it on your own for 100% stack and bar stack chart. So let's go for pie chart over here. So I'll insert a pie chart again. Select the data, go to insert. You need to consider this pie chart. So when do we use this? Whenever we have to look for the distribution of the data. So when I say distribution, you look at this. So there are again so many companies. There are different sales values for each of them. Now let's say I am checking their market share. So what do we mean by market share? So you choose an area. Let's say Pan India is your market area. So, which particular product is selling more? So, if you're into FMCG, let's say, again, that's a very broad domain. So, you can choose mobiles or mobile networks for that matter. You can see which is having more number of customers. So, that is their market share. So, either it is Jio or Airtel or Vodafone, you have so many over here. So, which area has got more number of customers for that particular service provider, let's say, that will let us know the market share. So the bigger the number of customers, more the market share over here. So to look at the distribution, so suppose these are all the customer numbers, or these are the same thing goes for sales as well. Whichever product is being sold for a large amount, which is acquiring a lot of amount and lot of unit sales, so that also has got a larger market share. So this is something like that. Now within that market, so many other products are also there, but what is their share? So to see the distribution, you will choose a pie chart within 100%. What is their particular share? So you can use pie chart for so many other things also to check the performance. Or let's say you have error contribution. So you are working in some industry, there could be errors at different levels of production. So which process is contributing for more errors? So you can look at it in these manners as well. Okay, essentially used to look at the distribution of data. Within the whole, you are looking at the share which goes for each category that we have, and these series will become the sector that you have in a pie. So one sector, see, J and J, this becomes one sector over here. I mean, this triangular piece that you see, this is known as the sector. Okay, so now again for this pie, you have lot of themes that are available, chart styles that you can apply. I'll just take this, or we could go for this one as well. Yes, this is much better. So now you can look at the percentage value of all these categories that are available to us. Now, there might be many series like this that you are seeing currently, that is 2%, 4%, 1%, or 0.5. So, there might be some data like this. When we are plotting it against bigger values, they become almost invisible in your chart. So, there are some instances like this. So, when you are showing a really huge data, so few series will not be visible at all. So again, you might have seen some line that they take here. So you must have seen that. So they will draw a line. So it's a leader line. This is known as a leader line. Let me change the font color of this. See, this is known as leader line. If it is too small, you will not be able to show the data label on that. So that they will draw a leader line, they'll show this the value for them. So sometimes it's okay for if you have many series like that, it looks very ugly. So you have a alternative method of representation for this. I'll show you that. That is known as pi of pi. So let us insert the chart again, the same thing. Okay. I would like to show all those value which are less than 10% to be displayed in a secondary pie. What I mean by secondary pie, let me show you. Select the pie, right click, you say format data series. When you click on it, you have this. Let me try it again. Why it is not showing me? Okay guys, let's do one thing. I'll select it. We'll go to insert. We have pi of pi. Let me choose it directly. You also have an option to choose bar of pi as well. See, over here, you also have bar of pi. So it only displays in the form of a bar. No difference here. See, pi of pi, bar of pi, it's all the same. I'll choose pi of pi here. Currently, the distribution is based on the position. So you can see here, Pfizer, Merck, and others are being displayed here. Those three values occur in the end of this list. I don't want it by position. I want it by the value of the sector. So what I'll do, right click, format data series. See, now you have this split series by staking by position. Now let me change it to percentage value or value, or you can also provide your own custom condition there. So I'll choose percentage value. See, values less than. So it has taken 10%. So fine. All those values less than 10% needs to be displayed in a secondary pie for me. I choose this. So second plot size. So it's a bigger plot. I can also reduce it so that it will display like this, a small pie over here. Or you could increase the size of the second plot also. Okay. Gap width. So the more the gap, the far the secondary pie would be. So if you reduce the gap, it will come near to this one. So like this. So now you can see here there are only two values taken. So one was almost about 10%. Now let me change this to, see, even that gets added here. Anything that amounts to less than 10%, that will be displayed in the secondary pie. So this will have a better visibility of all those series which have very minuscule value, which cannot be displayed in the same pie that we have. Okay, so for these things you can always go for pi of pi or bar of pi and display it like this. So I'll choose add data labels. See, I can format these data labels also, or if you want quick styles, so you can always go here, go to design. You can also choose from here, see, like this, and I can also display it in different ways that we have. This looks better now. Okay, any doubts till here, guys? So these were all simple charts, so I took it in a stretch. So just give me a second. So now we have this data. Now let me show you this one. Now if I have too many series like this, and on this if I plot a column chart, you just look at it how exactly it displays. So you have too many series and you have plotted a column chart. Very difficult to analyze. So let me change the chart type. Let's say if I take stacked column, again it doesn't make any much difference to me. So almost all columns are looking in the same manner. So when you have something like this, so you can use stacked column up to five series. So not more than that. Again, it will be too difficult to plot the areas over here. So when you have too many series, you can always go for line chart. So I choose this. Line is a better way of representation when you have huge list of series that are available to us. So how are these plotted? So you can see here we have 12 months of data plotted here. So for each month, what is the sales value is plotted as a dot. Okay. And all these dots, when connected together, it becomes a line chart. So we all have done that in the school as well. But this is really helpful when you have huge list, I mean that the huge number of series that are available to us. And how to analyze this, you can see the line which is at the topmost level has got the highest sales. Okay, so in the same order it goes to other lines. So one which is lowing very low, it has got very less sales. So that's how you analyze it. And even for these line charts also, you can always go insert data labels. Okay, you could insert it for entire chart. So for all these series it will display it like this. If your data is in a harmonic way like this, not much changes from one particular month to another month, so you still your data looks neat on this line chart. But let's say you have very volatile data. Now let me show you that over here. Just clear this. So let me plot a chart on this data. I'll take line only. Again, I'll take line chart. You look at this one. Though we have many series, the problem is the data is not moving in a harmonic way. Every other month, the data is changing drastically. It looks more like a spider web here. So at least even that is more structured. So this is more like a garbage that you see here, crushed paper. Okay, so if you have something like this, when the data is changing very volatilely, so then we choose spark lines. See, spark lines are a better way to display data which is changing very randomly. So for that, I'll show you how to insert spark lines. You need to go to insert, choose spark line. See, first of all, you need to place your area where exactly the spark line has to be implemented. I click on line. I need to choose the data range. The data range would be a single row here. I'll choose this and click OK. You can also drag it like this to other cells, just like a formula. See, these spark lines are also known as in cell chart, which when you change something over here, it also changes over there in the chart. You can see here. So there's again a drastic drop that occurred. And I can also see, go highlight the highest point with a marker, lowest point if you have any negative points. So don't use markers over here, it looks quite ugly like this. So you can also mark the first point, last point. So these things are possible, and you can also change the marker color, spark line color. So you have all such modifications that you can use here. So in which color it has to be displayed, you can decide this. Spark lines are the best way to see the data that is changing very uh, randomly. You can also display this in columns. So let me choose this. So now over here, I'll choose high point, and the marker color for high point. So let's say I'll choose black over here. See, all those values which have a high point are displaying in black color for here. So here I will be able to know so which month data it is. See, it goes to this 5,000. You can count the column values here and you will know which particular month it belongs to. So hardly we have 12 columns, you will be able to look at it like this. So you can either display it in column or line. See, for negative numbers, let's say, we can also use win or loss chart here using spark lines. Now let me go here and choose win or loss. So what is this win or loss? So suppose I have some value in mentioned in negative. You see, it displays like this. All the positive values show upwards, all the negative values, it will display like this. Okay. So these are the different ways in which you can represent data with huge number of series. So let me to show you how to provide this chart. Combination chart, that's the name given to it. I'll tell you why they have termed it like that. So I have deleted the corner cell over here because we have numbers. These are year values. I don't want them to be plotted on my chart. So I'll delete the corner cell even before I plot my chart. I'll select the data here, go to insert, I'll choose normal clustered column chart. I get this clustered column chart. But we have two series here. One is sales and the other is increase. We get to see only one. That's because the other series is very, very minute when compared to the first series. How? You look at it, this is 25,500, whereas 6% is not even 1. It is like 0.06. 6% is 6 divided by 100. So you get 0.06. Where is 0.06? Where is 25,500? So you can't plot these two series on the same scale. Then this window will not be enough for me to display that chart for you. I need to take a huge room to display that. Again, it's not a good way to plot it that way. So when you have this kind of scenario, wherein one of the series have very less value and the other series has very high value to be represented, you can't use the same scale. See, you look at the scale, it's starting from 5,000 here. So this is somewhere 0. So all those increase values are stuck below. So if I want to show it on the same chart, I need to take secondary axis. If I was telling you this is your primary vertical axis, I'll take secondary vertical axis. But before we do that, select the series, right click, you have an option, change series chart type. Click on that. So you get this window. So you have here sales increase. So I'll say increase must be plotted on secondary axis. I'll choose this. As soon as you give that, you can see these charts are overlapping. I don't want it to be overlapping like this. So what I'll do, I'll give this increase in a different type. Instead of column, I'll choose a different type of chart. So I can go for this one. You could also choose the area here, not only line. Areas are, so again, your same line chart, but the entire area is filled with the color. So area below the line is filled with the color. You could also choose this one, or you could also go for the line chart like this. You can keep both of them as line, even that is also possible. So these are known as the combination charts. Whenever your different series have got different values, so you get to see this. So when both of them cannot be plotted on the same scale, you choose different series chart type like this. So one of the series is line, the other is column. You can see that here. Okay. Yes. So you see something like this. This is known as a butterfly chart. So one of the advanced charts I can say. These charts are done using your basic charts only again. So how to prepare it using your basic charts that are available in Excel. See, let me show you something over here. You have these questions, yes or no. So these are some of the survey questions. Let's say, assume they are questions asked in a survey, and the number of people who have answered yes for it and no for it are provided here. So that's how the data is collected. Now, I can also display the same by inserting a column chart like this. This would do the job quickly, okay? But nothing special in this chart. I want to show it in a different way. Then I'll choose to display it as a butterfly chart. So you must have seen such visualization in a news channel or even in a newspaper. So you get to see a lot of different kinds of charts in these places where it is published, or even live charts for that matter. Now let me show you how to do that. For that you need to tweak your data a little. So you have to keep it in a particular format in order to see that you get such charts. Now, first of all, let's see how many of them have answered for each question over here. I will I'll apply sum on each question by adding yes or no values. I'll get to know how many of them have answered for question 1 and all the questions over here. You can see they are not the same. So not everyone has answered all questions. So the number of people answering it has changed. So I want to take an average of this so that we have uniform data here for plotting. I'll select this. You can see in the status bar, the average is 947.2. Now let's consider the average is 947. Now considering that, you have to keep your data in this manner. Now let me show you. So I would like to take questions in this column. Let's say questions. So I want to display yes. Sorry, 947 minus yes. 947 is the average value of the participants who have answered the questions in the questionnaire over here. Okay, and then I'll get yes. We also require a gap value here. I'll tell you why that is important when I plot the chart. So we require no, and we also require 947 minus no. See, this 947 value is taken so that when we plot the chart, there will be an equal distance from both the ends. We want it to look like a butterfly, not something else. So for that, both the wings of the butterfly should have an equal distance from both the ends. So that's the idea behind taking this average value. Now I'll take the question numbers by referring to the cells over here. I'll click on it. I'll drag it to these cells. Next, I'll go here, say 947 minus yes value. And over here, yes value. Gap is a constant value. I would like to have a gap between the wings of the butterflies that we are creating. So the gap should be uniform. I'll try to give a value 350. Any constant number is fine. More the number, the bigger the number, the bigger the gap would be. So I'm trying to take something in between, not too high, not too less. I'll choose 350. I'll give no, and here say 947 minus no value. Now once we have given all these cell references, I'll copy this down. After you do this, I'll plot a bar chart on this stacked bar chart. You go to insert, you go here for charts group, you need to choose stacked bar chart. Select this. This is stacked bar chart. I repeat it. Now after you have plotted, you can see here, see 947 minus yes and yes. Put together, they will become one value. So these two together will become one length. So now you understood why we have taken this. So to get equal distance from both the ends, we have considered subtracting yes and no value from 947. So now we don't require them on the chart, but I cannot delete them as well. See, if I delete it, all our plan will go into toss. So I want them to remain on chart, but they should not be visible to us. I don't want this to be visible. So what I can do, right click after selecting the series, you have this formatting option here. You click on it, you'll say no fill and also no outline. See, that series is present, but it is not visible. You could do the same for this one as well. No fill and no outline. Repeat that for gap also. No fill and no outline. So this requires just some creativity, guys. Nothing rocket science here. It's very simple if you understand it. You can see here the arrangement of questions is in reverse order. I want to correct it. So select the axis, right click, you select format axis here. You go here, choose this option, categories in reverse order. Once you select, the order of the questions are corrected now. Now I don't want these access values. I'll just select it and delete. Even these, I don't require them and just delete it. I also don't require these major grid lines that are visible to us. So what I'll do, I'll go to design, just go to chart element, I'll say grid lines, and I'll deselect this vertical grid lines so that it is clear in the background. Now you can see in the legend also it is visible 947 minus yes, 947 minus no, and gap. So how to remove that from the legend? Just double click on the value and delete it, it will vanish. Okay, so now we have only yes or no value. I can also go here, change the chart title based on the report name that I want to provide, and just say questionnaire. I'll just mention this. You could also mention something else depending on your report that you're trying to display. You can change the name of it. Say I would also like to display the question numbers in between these two bars that we have. Just select this and add data labels. So now it displays as 350. I don't want 350 there. Instead, I would like to see question numbers. Select 350, right click, format data labels. Now go to these label options over here and choose category name. You will be able to see the question numbers here. And yeah. So just remove the values. I don't want to see the values. So let me select these data labels again. Go here, choose label options, series name, and remove value. It is category name, guys. Okay. After you choose this, you can see the change over here. I would like to give data labels to these series as well. So just go here, right click, add data labels. They'll be added. Same thing on this series. But I would like to see that these numbers are positioned in the ends of these bars. So again, choose the data labels, go here, and you have label position here. You see, inside base or inside end. So depending on the position you require, and just align it in that way. Also, I would like to see these bars in a more thicker way. I want to reduce the gap between the bars over here. So just select the series, reduce the gap width. That will increase the width of the bars that you have. So you can perform more customization if you want. So you can change the font color for questions, font color over here in the data labels, and also the heading. So a lot more things can be done like this. Okay. So the same chart, I know these have some series of steps. First, you need to prepare the data, later insert the chart, and within the chart, you have to see all those irrelevant series are hidden by removing their color and outline, and you will provide the data labels and you will position them properly. So all these steps are, I'm just summarizing the steps for you. You just look into the video again and try preparing this chart on your own. First of all, the basic requirement for these kind of charts is how exactly you keep your data. See, the same chart I displayed, the same data I displayed in a column chart for you. So that would suffice our requirement. But if I want to show it in a different way to my client or my manager, I would, like to be much more creative. So this is one of the ways you can choose. So let me show you. You can also prepare the same using a formula here. See, I have used the same values. So let me show you. You could also get this done without inserting a chart and just by displaying it in the cells. How exactly it is done, let me show you. I'll just clear formats and also the contents. Just clear everything. Just go back here. I'll insert. Okay. I'll give a border now. I'll just select cells. I have adjusted the column width based on where exactly the series will be displayed. This is the gap that I have given. These are the places that I choose to provide the yes or no values. So let me go here. I'll draw a border around this. I'll select right from here. So let's go to borders. You could also just give control 1. It will take you to format cells. So you can choose border over here and what color border you want to provide. So all those things can be selected over here. I would like to use a thick outline. It's done. Now within this, I would like to show the values. I'll just take yes values over here. And yes. And on this side, I'll give no. I'll just refer to those values directly from the table that we have. And over here, I'll choose no. I'll copy paste the values. The format is being removed. So I'll just copy paste it this way. If I say Control D, it is removing the formatting. I'll just say paste as formulas. Just to retain the border, that's all. Choose this, copy this, paste as formulas. Now after you're done with it, you see, you have another formula to apply here. That is known as repeat. You all would be knowing this repeat function. We are using the same to get the required graph or representation that we want here. So I'm using a pipe symbol. Pipe symbol you will be able to see right on top of your enter key. It's a straight line. So you need to provide that in double quotes. So that is a symbol that I want to repeat based on the number present here. I'll give this. It repeats so many times. I'll copy paste it. But all these are looking like the same. Okay. So what I can do, I'll just go here. I'll reduce it to 1/10. So we say 1 lakh has 100,000. See, this is something like that. I'll just by reducing it to 1/10. So no harm. Sorry, just go here. F4 by 10. So yes value divided by 10. Now copy paste it as formulas. Okay. So repeat the same on the other side as well. equal to rept, repeat function, use this pipe symbol, choose no, divide it by 10, close bracket, and you copy paste it to other cells over here. Copy paste as formulas. Now we are done with it. So I just want to change the alignment. This should be right aligned and this is left aligned by default. So now, but I would like to see these lines close to each other. It should look more like a bar. Okay, for that, I'll select it. I'll just change the font name. So there is a font name, Britannic Bold. Britannic Bold. Just select that. See, it changes immediately. I'll apply the same on the other side as well. And you can just change the font color to any color that you want, and the same will be displayed there. So I'm choosing the same colors that we gave on the other end. See, you can display it like this. This is also known as an in-cell chart. So not like your spark lines though. We have used some formulas and changed the font to display it that way. We are not using any chart here. We have just used formulas. So is that clear to all of you how we got this?